Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Creates Stuff, and today we are going to make this patriotic table runner. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to make all the components for these sawtooth star blocks that have this extra special little 9-patch variation inside, and how to put it all together. So let's get started. These are the fabrics that I am going to use to demonstrate the table runner block today. So I'm still keeping with the red, white, and blue theme, but going a little bit more rustic. So I love this floral and this sort of cracked wood blue, and then of course a cream with darker cream stars. I think those all go together very nicely for an Americana variation on the table runner. All these fabrics are from my stash and are many years old, so probably not available in your local quilt store, but you're sure to find something fairly similar. If using yardage, you will need 2 3-inch strips that you will cut down into a total of 24 3-inch squares. If you are using a fat quarter, as is called for in the pattern, then you will need a total of 4 3-inch strips, and then cut those down into a total of 24 3-inch squares. For the red fabric, which I also used as the border on this table runner, you are going to need a 2.5-inch strip that you're going to cut down into 3 2.5-inch squares and 12 2-inch squares. So I just cut a single 2.5-inch wide strip, cut off my 3 2.5-inch squares. Those are going to be the center of the little 9 patches. And then I trimmed that strip further down to 2 inches. And from that 2-inch strip, I then cut off my 12 little 2-inch squares. In my sample table runner, I thought it might be fun to change up the center of one of the little 9-patch blocks and put some blue in there as well. And you can easily get a 2.5-inch strip out of the leftover bits from your 3-inch strip of blue. But I think on this one, I am going to use all red centers. So here are my 2.5-inch squares. Then I'm going to take my strip, fold it back in half here, makes it a little easier. I'm going to go ahead and trim this whole strip down to a 2-inch wide strip, and then cut my 12 2-inch squares from this piece. The borders are also from 2.5-inch strips, and you would need a total of 3 additional 2.5-inch strips to use for the border. From my cream colored fabric, which is what I'm using as the white for this table runner, cut a 3-inch strip. I will be subcutting that into the 12 3-inch squares. I'm going to cut a 5.5-inch strip. I will be cutting this into 12 3-inch by 5.5-inch rectangles. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cut a 2-inch strip, and I will subcut that into 12 2-inch by 2.5-inch rectangles. We now have all the pieces we need to make the 3 blocks. The only additional fabric for the front of the table runner are the border strips. All right, let's see how these pieces go together. The large rectangles and the blue squares are going to make the flying geese units, which make the points of the star. I'm going to set those aside for a moment. And I'm going to set aside the larger background squares. They're also part of the star. And we'll start with these smaller pieces that are for the 9-patch variation. So the larger red square is the center. And then you will have the rectangles go around that. And the small squares go in the corners. And that makes your 9-patch variation. And obviously you're going to make 3 of these. For the star points, the large squares of the background color will go up in the corners. And the flying geese units will be made from these rectangles. I'm going to show you how to make the flying geese unit, but we'll pretend for just a moment here just so you can kind of see where it's going. You'll essentially end up with little triangles here, and you can see how that's going to form the star points, and of course that'll be repeated throughout. So let me show you how to construct those. And you can construct the 9-patch just as you would any other 9-patch. It's made up of 3 pieces sewn together into rows, and then those rows are sewn together. For the flying geese units, you're going to take a rectangle and place a square. It doesn't really matter which side of the rectangle you start with. I would just be consistent throughout, just makes it a little bit easier. And so I'm aligning mine with the right, and I'm having right sides together. And it should align on 3 of the edges. Then I'm just going to take a ruler and place it from corner to corner on the blue square. Now, does it matter which corner to corner you go with? No, as long as whichever way you start, all of them go that way. So I'm going to just align corner to corner here. I'm just using a chalk pencil, going from corner to corner, and I'm going to sew on that line. Now I'll give you a little bonus tip. After I sew all my stack one way, I then, before I cut off this extra piece of triangle, is I'm going to sew another line about, well, I make it about a rough 1/4 inch away. I'll go ahead and draw it so you can see. I'm not real precise with this, but I want enough room that when I cut a part between the 2 sewn lines, there's enough of a seam allowance. It doesn't have to be a full 1/4 inch, but there has to be just enough of a seam allowance. So that maybe is a smidge close at this end. This line should be perfect. This line we're able to play around with in a little bit. This just makes it easier, since this is all still one unit, to sew these half square triangles. Now, what am I going to use these half square triangles for? Well, stick around to the end and you can see how I involved them in my table runner. I'm going to repeat that for all 12 rectangles. Here is my sewn piece. Here is the line that I'm going to press back so that I get that first star point. And then this is the extra line that I sewed in order to end up with a half square triangle ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut between those 2 sewn lines, making sure that I don't cut over any of them. So this, I'm just going to set those aside for now. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and press this open. Now I'm going to take my next blue square And again, right sides together. This time I am aligning my 3 edges here. It should come past my other triangle on this side. It is imperative that you draw your line from this point down to the corner point. If you draw your diagonal the other direction, I'll just show you what happens, and you sew that and you cut, you will not end up with star points. And I can do the same thing and draw another line here, or I can just wing it when I'm at my machine. And here is our flying geese unit, and we're going to make a total of 12 of these. Now that we have our units sewn together, so we have our 9-patch variation, and we have our flying geese units, and then of course we still have our squares that we haven't used quite yet. So we're going to make a block. You'll take a 9-patch. You will need 4 of your flying geese units, and you can arrange them so that they make points like that. And then of course you'll take your large background squares. They will go in the corners. And this becomes a large 9-patch. So you will sew a row of your points and your corner squares, and then a row with the 9-patch and the points, and then another row with squares and your points. And now that your rows are sewn, you will simply sew the rows together to complete your block. And here we have the finished block. You'll make a total of 3 of these, and then we're going to sew them together into one row. And then you just need to add your borders. So from the 2.5-inch strips that you have cut from the red, you're going to make 2 of them 30.5 inches long. And those will each go onto the side. Once you have those in place, you will need 2 strips cut from that 3rd strip of fabric, and those will measure the 2.5 by 14.5 inches, and those will get sewn along the top and the bottom, and that will make your table runner. From there, you can quilt it and bind it as you see fit. So on the sample runner that I did, I just did a crosshatch going through the center of each of the 2.5-inch little areas all the way across. But you could certainly go around the stars. You could free motion swirls and stars. That's totally up to you. Once your table runner is quilted, add your binding and you're all set for the holiday. Once again, the finished table runner. So make a great addition to your Memorial Day or 4th of July tablescape. And of course, it's easy enough to swap out the colors and make it Christmas or Halloween, or just to go with your decor. If you are interested in learning how to make some variations using these blocks into other table runners and table toppers, then come on over to my newly minted Patreon. I have so far just a quilting tier for a very low price per month that will give you access to additional patterns, how-tos. We'll be talking about choosing fabric, making alterations to the pattern, and what you have to consider yardage-wise and cutting-wise. There will be tips and tricks on how to use the leftover bits of your fabric and incorporate them into things like the backing. All those little pinwheels were from the half square triangles left over from making my flying geese blocks. So the link for my Patreon is in the description below, and I will also put it on the end card. There is information for quilters, even if you don't sign up for the quilter tier. There is some free stuff that I'll be putting up on my Patreon on occasion, just here and there. So it's also a good place to figure out what's going on and keep up with the latest that I'm doing in quilting. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please check out this one.